Hi, it's Foregolf Custom, and this is the review of the Callaway Apex 19 iron. I've got some insight into what sort of set configuration you need to look at. This is a quick iron, it comes off the face fast, so you're gonna have to look at how the set is configured, and also we've got some good insight into the shafts we've been using and how we've been fitting with it. So this iron goes quick, no doubt.
Certainly does, yeah.
And that sort of speed off the face, I guess comes with different, complications is the best way to describe it.
Always does.
Right,
yeah.
So what are you seeing with it when you were fitting with it this last couple of months?
So, as you started off by quite rightly saying, it is extremely quick off the face. So, part one, it's a distance-based product. So, anybody looking for that premium word, the players club, the feel, the softness,
yeah,
then this is going to be right up your alley.
That's a complicated design. You know, when we know that it's fairly straightforward to produce something that's soft.
Of course.
Because just use a good quality forging, keep the steel soft. But when you have to then try and make that quick, that's when the issues usually start. And I mean, they've done a great job with the microspheres in this design. It's the first time they've used it. And they've had the 360 cup design in the face. So basically what's happening is they've thinned out the face, still using a very soft forging, but the face is allowed to move into these microspheres, which is giving it the speed off the face. The complexity has always been how to balance that speed and keep it soft, and I think they've done a great job with this.
Yeah, they've put all their good technologies that they've learned over the years all together in one player's product. With forgiveness, with speed.
That's right, and the forgiveness as well, they've put these tungsten chips into the toe of each of the clubs, and it changes in size to suit the different heads, to suit the type of ball flight and balance and MOI. So I tell you what, in terms of multi-materials, I think it's right on there in terms of product. There's a couple of things I love about this, and you as soon as you saw the demos come through, you were like, well, what was the first thing you said to me?
We've been waiting since 2016 for a replacement of this product, which was incredibly good and cutting edge at the time when it arrived. So I guess if you're going to wait that number of years before bringing out a replacement, you've had plenty of time to work on it, so it's going to have to be good. Yeah,
and it comes in two finishes. So we've got the satin steel one, and we've got that dark coloured finish as well, the smoke one. And then the combo set.
Which is probably maybe the best part of the whole thing altogether, is you can get a set of Apex Standard, and then from 3 to 7, and then there's a set that comes from 8 down to approach wedge. Now, approach wedge is a wedge that tends to sit in between the traditional gap wedge, like a 52-degree wedge, and your pitching wedge. So one of the problems that has maybe come around with this type of product is, as part of the distance story, all the lofts are strong.
Well, yeah, and this is a trend that's been coming into the industry, and the lofts have to strengthen in a lot of the products because of the increased trajectory in flight and the speeds as well. So they're trying to balance high speed, high trajectory, and loft settings, but it has thrown up differences in terms of set configuration. So why don't we give our viewers a little insight into how you've been setting them up, so that they can make a choice then on it.
I guess traditionally over the years, a player's style profile would have been 4 to pitching wedge, and then maybe 2 to 3 wedges at the back end. So in this set, I'm doing an ever decreasing less number of 4 irons, because the 5 iron being 23.5 degrees of loft is strong anyway.
And it's quick.
So if that's 23, then your traditional 3 hybrid at 19 degrees, there isn't really room to fit that extra 1 in. But what you will have to do as a result of it, and this is where this A wedge or approach wedge becomes one of the most important parts, this whole set, is it's 48 degrees, the approach wedge. So that's, as old-fashioned as we are, our old pitching wedge.
That's a key takeaway point. So if you're looking at these irons, and especially if you go combo, you got to make sure that you're looking at that bottom end. There's got to be more focus on your wedges. You got to make sure that you're covering off the yardages, because what you don't want to do is get the pitching wedge and have your traditional 56-degree sand wedge, because you're going to have a chasm of difference in loft between the pitching wedge and the sound wedge. You are going to want to have to bridge this, and also look at maybe strengthening your wedges. So this will be, if you're thinking about the irons as a possible in the bag for 2019, you're going to have to get your wedges fitted too. So take note.
As part of the problem is the Pro set are weak in loft, or more traditional in loft.
Okay.
So for the combo set, they then have to make you specific, custom 8 to A wedge.
And we've been doing combo sets for years here because we build all the stuff next door in the workshop. But so what we would tend to do is bring in the heads of different models and then blend the set together based on design. But this is done differently by the Callaway. They're actually building a combo set, which is a split set of 2 different designs, but they're blending them in terms of the right loft. So this isn't going in and taking half a set off the rack and another half a set off the rack. These are custom built to the specific loft. So don't look and think that they're 2 different heads. They're the one set that's built specifically for it. Shaft wise then, if that's the kind of profile, what are you thinking about for shafts?
So again, if we're going to go back to the distance story, power to weight ratio says the lighter we make it, the quicker it goes. So
right.
It's tending to be your lighter stroke mid-weighted shafts. And they tend to be quite firm because you want to be able to control that speed coming off the face. Unless there's a real distance story, and then you can just lighten them up all the way through.
But we're liking C-taper light.
C-taper light, PXI if you don't want to turn over, but then there's always good nip-on options because the loft is strong to help get the ball up in the air.
Yeah, so you're going to have to balance the heads out. So Modus is another great product I found as well, just to get it to fly and then come out flatter.
105 is a nice option.
Yeah, it's perfect. In terms of set configuration then, just to give a recap then, so be careful of...
You've got to question first whether you need a 4-iron.
Right.
Because if you have the 5 from the set, it'll probably bridge up to a 3 hybrid quite nicely.
Gotcha.
But as a result of bringing that 4 out, you then have to fill it in the back end. So that's going to involve bringing in an approach wedge. So we're going to have to start thinking about our terminology different. We're going to have pitching wedge, approach wedge, gap wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge, which traditionally would have been our 4 to pitching wedge, but now 5 to gap wedge, or A wedge in this case, becomes that set profile.
So the Callaway Apex 19 iron is not really a player product as such, with a pro version that's coming as well, which you may want to consider. Although if the combo setup does kind of suit your eyeline or your idealism in terms of how you want to play, then you may want to have a look at it. If you're a kind of a low ball striker, probably not ideal either, as this is going to come out high. And also if you're thinking of a product that maybe does fly it and has some sort of energy, maybe consider the Rogue iron. I've done a review of this before. I'll pop a link to it up here. Bottom line is, I hope that you're enjoying this content and I hope that it's given you information that you can use. It's all from a fitting perspective, so I really hope that you like it. If you do like it, please give us a like, hit the button, and also share the video around with your buddies. If they're thinking of changing their irons, they may want to look at this. And if you could subscribe to the channel with the new batch of videos coming out soon, you'll be able to see those. So until the next video, I'll see you then.